So earlier this morning, I was sitting here and I had my YouTube open and clicked on this video from ESPN on Get Up. They were talking about the Packers. I was curious what their takeaway would be from this game. And so let me just play a short excerpt here and I will give my thoughts on their analysis of this Packers team. Here we go. First off, this is Micah Parsons. They're showing a short clip of him talking about even, Super Bowl teams have bad losses, basically. They react to that starting off there.
Adversity. Undefeated seasons, they're hard enough. I used to be real. And sometimes, just like today, that's just the reality of it happens to the best teams. You know what I mean? Even the best Super Bowl champs make mistakes and they pay for it early.
Okay, so, I have so many other things to talk about in that game, and then Micah comes afterwards and says that.
Undefeated team, Super Bowl. Bro, what the hell have you won?
Yeah.
Like you're a great player, there's no question about that, but you haven't won jack squat on this league. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, I don't understand that. That's the type of stuff that when I hear from Michael Parsons, just making me scratch my head, like, is that why Dallas, got you about it? Like, it's just stupid stuff like that, bro. It's like, why are you even talking about that? You got your butts kicked, you know what I'm saying, by the Cleveland Browns. Their defense just totally dominated, and you talk about undefeated seasons in Super Bowl. What the hell?
But you know what? That's the mentality they trotted on that field with. Well, sit back and say, oh, no, we're just going to go get them. We're the mighty Packers. Nobody cares. All right, there's a week-to-week business in this league, and guess what? Those guys get paid, too. And by the way, the best defense on the field wasn't the Green Bay Packers. It was the Cleveland Browns.
There were people in the Packers locker room, there was an offensive lineman last week, talking about how they had a chance to go unbeaten. They had won 2 home games.
Right.
Hadn't even played a road game yet. This was the first time the Packers stepped on the road, and they lost at Cleveland. Now they get another road game on Sunday night against, we know a little bit about the Cowboys. That's felt like.
Okay, so they have a problem there with Micah Parsons' comments. And honestly, I think that's a little bit of an overreaction or a major overreaction because I understand what Micah Parsons is saying there. He's basically making the point that he clearly believes this Packers team is very good, as pretty much everyone had been saying the first 2 weeks. Just looking at different sports media, they've been saying the Packers had been one of the most dominant teams in the NFL. So the Packers are carrying themselves in the manner that they believe they can win a Super Bowl, which I think is probably a good thing. You want your team to actually believe that they can go out and do it. And so for Parsons to say, even Super Bowl teams, can lose games like this, I have no issue with that. Because clearly in Micah Parsons' mind, that's the type of team that this is. And I feel like most people, you'd want your team with that level of expectation. And so I have no problem with Micah Parsons' comment. I think that is completely reasonable to make a comment like that. But even though the Packers, struggled and lost this game, this doesn't change the fact that they're a very, very good team. And I don't think I don't have a problem with the Packers going in expecting to win. Now, if you go and you don't take someone seriously and you sort of come in and you're like, okay, well, this is going to be an easy game, then you shouldn't come in with that mindset. But coming in believing that you're going to win the game, I think that's what every team should do every single game. And it seems to me, looking at Jordan Love's comments, Matt LaFleur's comments, that they didn't really feel like the Packers came in and were like not prepared, not ready, not in the right mindset. Sometimes you just make terrible mistakes. Sometimes you throw a pick when you can't throw a pick. Sometimes you have a field goal blocked, and that was very, very bad. But this is a very, very good team, and they're still one of the best teams in the NFL.
Jordan Love going against a very good, could be one of the best defenses in football against Cleveland. You cannot do that in the fourth quarter. And
then to finish it, Dan Orlovsky, he basically says that Jordan Love can't make that kind of mistake, that kind of interception in the fourth quarter. And I think my thoughts on that is I did have concerns after the end of last season. The way the season ended in the playoffs with Jordan Love throwing 3 interceptions, having a very similar ending to the year prior in the playoffs against the San Francisco 49ers, you think to yourself, okay, Jordan Love needs to play clean football come playoff time. It's awesome if he goes, 8-9 regular season games without an interception, but then in some of the biggest moments, he cannot make those type of mistakes. So it is slightly concerning that in a game, in a moment where your defense has played lights out all game long, and your offense, you've struggled, and you just need to basically play clean football to end the game. Just don't make a really, really bad mistake. And that's exactly what Jordan Love did. And so it does concern me, and that's not to say that this is something that's always going to plague Jordan Love, because I think they'd put up that he had gone like 9 or so regular season games without an interception. And so that's awesome, but it does make you think, okay, like in big playoff games, which I believe the Packers will be playing in this season, if they're close in the end, can Jordan Love in some of these high pressure situations play clean football and not make really poor decisions. The good thing is that because this Packers defense is so good, when the Packers traded for Micah Parsons, I thought to myself was like, okay, Jordan Love doesn't have to be as perfect because this defense will be so good. And even though the offense played really, really bad pretty much all game outside of that one touchdown drive later in the game, the Packers were still in control to win that game because of how good the Packers defense was. And so the good thing is the Packers have a solid defense, but the Packers in these close games anyone cannot make these bad decisions late in these games. But those are my thoughts. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below. You can follow me on Twitter for more Packers thoughts throughout the day at LukeBeller3. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.